Hi everyone, I'm Precious and I've lived in Asia, North America, and now I'm here in France. Today I want to share why I left my home country, Asia, and America for Europe because the last video that I posted, many of you asked for more context after I posted this video. I'm gonna link the description below. So I realized it's really worth sharing the full story for the context, not just where I moved, but the big why. So just to give you some context about my background, I was born and raised in the Philippines. It's a country with so much heart, resilience, and culture. In my early career as a journalist, I spent 5 years covering political stories, elections, protests, and war against drugs. And during that time, many journalists were being killed. Two of my mentors, people I looked up to, were taken too soon. Their deaths were still unsolved, and their names added to a growing list of voices silenced. And that really shook me deeply. This is the story I don't often share, partly because it still feels very personal. I won't go into details, but it's a crucial part of my journey. As much as I love the Philippines, staying meant just constantly bracing myself for a sense of deja vu and disillusionment. I really felt stuck and perhaps really scared. And for the first time in my life, I didn't know what to do. I'm someone who's driven, curious. I want to learn, evolve, and contribute something meaningful. But over time, I realized I just couldn't do that back home. So I moved to Thailand and spent 3 years teaching English language at an international school in Bangkok. I honestly loved it. The food, the culture, the people. Thai people are some of the kindest and most respectful I've ever met. Incredible people. But things started to shift, so I worked with teachers from the UK, the US, Brazil, and South Africa. It was a diverse group, and we worked well together. But during school events, whenever we had parent and student gatherings, all the Filipino teachers, including me, were told to stay in the office. We weren't invited to greet the parents or anything. So eventually, I asked my boss, why is that? What's going on? And he simply told me it's the Thai director's order. Now, I'm not here to generalize all international schools in Thailand. I know many are inclusive and progressive, but this was my experience and I know I wasn't alone. And that was the first time I felt the weight of the unspoken Asian hierarchy. In many parts of Asia, especially in the workforce, there's this underlying structure. Countries like Japan, South Korea, and China are often seen as the top-tier Asian nations due to their global influence and strong economies. Meanwhile, Southeast Asians from the Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia, and Indonesia are often viewed as low-tier in comparison. It's subtle, but it's there. Filipinos in particular are often associated with service roles, caregiver, nannies, domestic workers, or hospital staff. There's nothing wrong with those jobs. Those are decent jobs. But when those assumptions limit your career or your potential, it really becomes discrimination. And to be fair, Filipinos themselves can sometimes hold biases against other Asian groups too. It's awful and it's painful, but prejudice runs deep across many cultures. So you might be wondering why. It's really complicated and it's rooted in things like war history, territorial disputes, colonial baggage, colorization, and cultural indoctrination. But the impact is real and deeply felt in daily life and the workplace. For example, in many parts of Asia, I noticed as a Southeast Asian professional, you're expected to work harder, to accept lower pay or slower professional growth, and you have to prove yourself 10 times over. All of it feeds into a layered system that dictates who gets to rise and who stays in the margin. Awful. Sorry, by the way, if you are still here watching and if you find it very helpful, please subscribe in my channel. That will really help me a lot in building more videos like this. And let's go back to the story. So later, I got the chance to work in Boston. My time living and working in the US felt like a new beginning. I felt like a new person. Of course, salaries were higher and more opportunities. I was really valued for my experience and enjoyed a greater sense of freedom. But with that, it came so much stress, polarization, and hustle culture. Our lives became a constant loop of work, workout, sleep, and repeat. My husband and I were so caught up in the hustle that we had almost no social life outside of our routine. And it felt like we were always chasing time, and I lost something along the way. The creative side of me, the passionate side, the curious part. I felt that part of me was dying. On the other hand, one thing that I really like living in the US is that people are generally warm and optimistic. You'll often hear phrases like, do whatever makes you happy, or, oh, I love that for you, or go for it. There's a genuine focus on joy and finding meaning in every conversations. But many foreign friends of mine who've lived in the US have told me about something called transactional mindset. This means that sometimes interactions, even the casual ones, can feel like, what can I give you or what's in it for me? People tend to think in terms of value or exchange. And personally, I think this mindset isn't unique to the US. You'll find it in many places, especially in work environments or competitive spaces. It's also good to keep in mind that the US is a huge and diverse country. Every state and every city can feel completely different. So it's really hard to sum up the experience with just one perspective. But for me, living in Boston often made me feel like my worth was based on my job, my title, and how hard I worked. And over time, I lost my curiosity and the simple joy of just living. Just my story, it's shaped by my own experiences and background. In the end, it wasn't just about geography, it was about finding a place that let me be fully myself. I'm not saying it's the right choice for everyone, but it was the right one for me. I'd actually love to hear what you think. Did any part of this resonate with you, or do you have a similar story? Let me know in the comments and I will read them all. So if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It helps the channel to grow. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. A bientôt. Ciao, ciao.